This is Rob Chappell, and it's 365 Amplified for Friday, June 20th. Thank you so much for joining us today. In a few minutes, we're going to hear from Madison Black Chamber of Commerce President Camille Carter in an interview that will probably make you a little hungry. Madison Black Restaurant Week is coming up, so she stopped by to talk about that, and then we'll hear from Omar about the No Kings rally in Madison and some stuff that the Latino Academy of Workforce Development is up to. We don't have the whole team together in one room this week because, it's summer and schedules are kind of all over the place. Omar is in New Orleans at the Investigative Reporters and Editors Conference. Stephanie's working on some things at the university, and so we figured rather than try to work around all our schedules, I would just bring you a few news items, and then we'll talk to Camille, we'll talk to Omar in a little bit. A couple news items to mention from this week. The Center for Black Excellence in Culture broke ground on Juneteenth 2024. And on Juneteenth 2025, announced that it had reached its goal to raise $31 million to complete construction debt-free. Our friend Dave Dahmer got in on the media tour and has some great photos from the inside of the building, which is very much in progress. Reverend Dr. Alex G., who's heading that effort and will be the CEO of the center, said the plan remains to open the center by the end of the year. The Black Lives Matter sign outside Crestwood Elementary was vandalized, probably last weekend. We got a message from a parent on Sunday last week saying that the sign had white paint poured all over it. That sign was funded by Parents Fundraising and designed by fifth graders in 2020. The police are aware. School district staff took the sign down and cleaned it up. I haven't heard any further developments. This school does have security cameras, so there's some hope that the perpetrators will be held accountable. This weekend is the girls' state soccer tournament in New Berlin. Division I Muskego is going for its fourth consecutive title. They beat Kimberly 3-0 on Thursday in the semifinal, and they'll face Madison West on Saturday. The Regents defeated Arrowhead 6-5 in a penalty shootout after playing to a 3-3 draw. And then in Division 4 on Thursday, top-seeded Xavier defeated Lake Country Lutheran 1-0. And in the other semifinal between Washburn and Ozaki Random Lake is still going on as I'm taping this. So you'll have to look that up because by the time you hear this, that game will be over. But I don't have the result yet. And then on Friday, the other set of semifinals are Division 2 and 3. Division 2, top-seeded Pewaukee takes on River Falls. And Brookfield Central will take on number 3 Sauk Prairie. And then in Division 3, Catholic Memorial against West Salem. And then Madison Edgewood will take on Kiel in the afternoon game. And then the finals are all on Saturday. So a lot of good Madison area teams in that in the state finals happening this weekend. The other soccer story I'll come into, which is not really a soccer story, is that Brooklyn Doby was commissioned to design the Juneteenth jersey for Forward Madison. They had a Juneteenth game on the 18th. They lost the game, unfortunately, but 2-1. But it was still a great night to celebrate. And Brooklyn is a local artist. She graduated from Edgewood in 2020 and then was contracted by the city. You remember when they boarded up State Street and they did all those murals up and down the street, which were awesome. She was one of those artists that contributed to that project, and that got her sort of on the path to being a muralist and a painter and a printmaker. And now she has designed the Juneteenth jersey, which is fantastic. I'm not telling you to buy it, but I'm not telling you not to either. Take a look at it. It's at Madison365.org. I got to interview Brooklyn, and I got to see her at the game also. That was nice. So check that out. Now we're going to go right to our conversation with Camille Carter. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back talking Madison Black Restaurant Week. And we're back, and joining us now, the President, CEO, what's your actual title?
President and CEO.
President and CEO of the Madison Black Chamber of Commerce, Camille Carter. How you doing?
I'm doing very well today. Thank you so much, Rob.
Well, thank you for being here and for giving us the
having
time. And what we're talking about specifically right now is Black Restaurant Week, which is going to be here before we know it.
Madison Black Restaurant Week.
Very important.
That's very important.
This is not a Wisconsin thing. It's not a national thing. This is Madison specific.
This is Madison Black Restaurant Week.
Mm-hmm.
We actually were one of the first to start
Mm-hmm.
Black Restaurant Week 10 years ago. But since then, another organization actually trademarked Black Restaurant Week. So we are Madison Black Restaurant Week.
But they did it after you?
They did. They started around the same time.
Okay.
So that's when the Black Restaurant Week concept started.
Mm-hmm.
About 10 years ago, there were just a few small cities that started Black Restaurant Week, and Miss Malele actually was the founder of this campaign and brought this to the Madison Black Chamber of Commerce, and so it's 10 years old. But when you look around, comparatively to other larger cities that have a great deal more urban restaurants, they are all younger than 10 years old. Okay. So there's just very few.
And this year it's set for August 10th through 17th.
It is.
It's always kind of been in August, right?
It's always been the second full week in August, Sunday to Sunday. So
got it.
We start Sunday and end Sunday.
And just tell me about the origin. You know, you kind of alluded to it, but why was this necessary? Why was it important?
Yeah, so certainly the Madison Black Chamber of Commerce is a membership-based organization focused on business development, economic development, and we exist to advocate for the businesses, connecting them with opportunities, making sure that that they have the fundamental ingredients to help them to grow and to keep them supported. Our agency has been around now as a Chamber of Commerce for 13 years. And the Madison Black Restaurant Week is our signature event. We certainly have the Black Business Directory. That was our first service to our businesses, but the Madison Black Restaurant Week was the actual signature premier event from the Madison Black Chamber of Commerce.
And has been.
For 10 years. We're celebrating our milestone anniversary this year, and we're excited about it.
Tell me a little about what Black Restaurant Week, what Madison Black Restaurant Week actually consists of. How many restaurants are we talking about? Is it like special deals and events and that kind of thing?
So when we started this campaign, this is a promotional campaign intended to shine a spotlight on restaurants within the Madison and Dane County region. When we started the campaign, we only had about 12 restaurants, and we started exclusively with the restaurants at that time. And we really wanted to make the community aware that these entrepreneurs existed within their neighborhoods, and they were there in these restaurants really needing to attract more customers and clientele. Oftentimes they're solopreneurs or small family businesses that don't have a large marketing budget. And so Madison is a foodie town, and Ms. Malele brought this concept to the Chamber of Commerce to really help to elevate them through supporting them with advertising and promotion to literally push business into their establishments and to hopefully attract new clients for the remaining years to come.
Right. And then how many did you have last year? You started with 12 or so?
So we started with about 12 restaurants, and then year over year we grew. We expanded the campaign to include food trucks and caterers.
Oh, okay.
Now we include all of the food service entrepreneurial community. So we've got farmers, we have purveyors, we have, of course, caterers and food trucks.
Sure.
Dessert specialists and chefs, personal chefs as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Mm-hmm. And there are a handful of businesses, when you say purveyors, like that are making like sauces and
salsas and things of that nature.
Awesome. So how many altogether do you know off the top of your head?
So we started with 12.
Mm-hmm.
Last year we had expanded the businesses to about 42 businesses last year. And this year we, year over year, it's always a challenge because we have restaurants and businesses that close,
sure,
and then, new businesses that open. So we're always looking and searching for who's out there.
Right. And I bet some people who are listening right now didn't even know there were that many Black-owned food businesses in Madison, right? And they're all highlighted and spotlighted at Black Restaurant Week. And you mentioned that you're always looking for more, and you're in that stage right now. You're actually looking for restaurants and businesses to participate.
We're recruiting them.
So if you have a favorite like Black-owned restaurant, like make sure they're in this, right? Because this is an important opportunity. How do folks get involved?
Folks go through a registration process. We do require that our businesses are properly licensed,
of course,
with the state of Wisconsin, and we help to support them and provide technical assistance to kind of get them there if they're not there. So that's a service that we do provide. And but there is a registration process. It's very reasonable, and we do have member pricing and non-member pricing. So.
So there's a fee, but it's an investment that's going to pay off probably.
It's an investment that pays off. We do market our Black Restaurant Week participants all year long. We have, new families that move into town and check in with the chamber and really are wanting to know where all of the Black resources are, and that information. Everyone likes to eat and loves cultural cuisine. And so we do share these restaurants and refer them forward throughout the year as well.
And I think there's another thing that folks may not know is that there's a really healthy mix of Black-owned restaurants. There's, the sort of African-American soul food type places, but there's African, Jamaican,
Caribbean, Jamaican. We've got a Puerto Rican restaurant and some vegetarian and vegan restaurants as well.
Just veggies down on State Street, right? And what has been your sort of? Have you had like a favorite experience or anything during Black Restaurant Week? I'm not going to ask you your favorite restaurant. I'm not going to put you in that position.
That would not be fair.
Anything that sort of surprised you over those 10 years that really that jumps out as a, wow, this is really cool that we did this?
What surprises me is sometimes when restaurants are new to the experience, they're very reluctant to come in and they really don't know what to expect. But I'm in awe at how they turn around once they've gone through the experience and they really love it and they're invested in the process. They really see and understand the value of advertisement and promotion, and they really do value and appreciate that. So that really does that turnaround is kind of fun to watch and witness.
And it's not just the restaurants are open and promoted. There's events at the beginning and the end of the week, right?
Yes, we really do try, and in particular this year we're adding even a couple of more events. But throughout the years or over the years, we've done all types of events to really engage the community and to help our businesses not just sell more food, but to help the community and engage them with. We've had cooking shows that we've had recipes that we've provided from personal chefs, and we had an app that we had pick up and drive through service.
Oh, cool.
So we really do try and have fun throughout the week as well. This year we've got, because it is our 10th year anniversary, we have done, we're doing even more events to just every other day. We've got activities going on throughout the week to just have fun and engage groups. We really want to encourage groups to just, have fun, take your families, your office, cater in lunch. We are expanding those opportunities with a lot of our corporate partners and encouraging them to order in with some of our caterers this year. And we know that we have fans actually that come in, particularly for the Jamboree and for the Black Restaurant Week experience from Iowa, Illinois, Milwaukee. So it's really kind of fun to see that.
Yeah. And what are some of the events that you have lined up for Restaurant Week?
Yeah, we've got some very exciting events happening for Restaurant Week. First, we're doing things a little bit differently. This year. We are starting and opening the Madison Black Restaurant Week with the Food Taste Jamboree. The Food Taste Jamboree, all of the tastings are $5. It's a family fun community event. It will be held on August the 10th at Warner Park. So we are very excited about that. Then on Thursday, we have an heirloom collard green tasting mixer that will be and cooking demonstration that'll be held at the Black Business Hub. And then on Sunday of the close of Black Restaurant Week, we will have the farm to table community brunch. And Southside Farmers Market as well.
That's great.
So that will be very exciting. And then you can also see some of the vendors on Saturday, the Saturday before, at the Black Business Hub. So just a host of events for our vendors to really engage the community and be available to sell and share their food. We have food vendors and also non-food vendors that participate in Black Restaurant Week.
Great. A lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on. And then we end in September at the announcement of the Madison Black Restaurant Week favorite experience.
Now, do you have those events listed on your website?
They are
as they become more.
Yep, they will be on our website.
You're still putting together some of the details and stuff on those.
We're still putting together some of the details. By the time this air, we should be really in good shape.
And we'll put a link in the show notes.
Okay.
So you don't have to remember it right now or write it down, but and we will as it gets closer, watch Madison 365 because we'll print the whole list of restaurants so you can kind of plan your week. Because don't just go to one, right? You gotta here's what we're doing Monday, here's what we're doing Tuesday for lunch.
Yeah.
Right? As a consumer, and we'll get that up as soon as we get all the restaurants locked in.
It's important to say that we do have community voting. So we do allow the community, again, it's just one of those additional engagement activities that we plan. But every year, for the last 3 years, we have vote for your favorite Black Restaurant Week experience. And you can vote for your favorite restaurant, your favorite food taste, your favorite dessert caterer, your favorite food truck. We've got some additional categories this year as well. But voting will start at the beginning of Black Restaurant Week and goes all week long. So as you sample and explore, you can really vote for your favorites.
And is there prizes or something for the?
In September, it's we celebrate our winners. We allow them, our businesses, to rest a little bit during the summer.
That's very nice of you.
They really do have a heavy work schedule because even Black Restaurant Week is not the only thing that they're doing. They're doing festivals and they're moving. It's a peak season for them. So we do allow a little bit of time for them to recuperate, and we come back in September and we announce the winners. And this year we're going to announce the winners on September the 18th at our it's called the amateur dessert mixer. That will be held in September.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
You threw dessert in there. That's
We have had, I think last year we had a amateur banana pudding cook-off. And we had about
amazing.
5 banana puddings. We had some professional judges that blind tasted the banana pudding. All of the participants were able to select their favorites as well. And the funniest thing was that a little young kid won the banana pudding cook-off. So that was really was really fun.
And that'll be this year. That'll be September 18th. It'll be a dessert mixer, and that's where also we'll recognize the winners of the.
We'll have professional, right? We'll have some of our professional businesses actually judge that contest,
right? But then you'll also at that date announce the winners from
and we will
Black Restaurant Week.
Announce the winners for Black Restaurant Week.
That's outstanding. So again, folks, just circle August 10th through 17th on your calendar. Like, stay hungry that week.
Stay hungry that week.
You can. And between now and then, if you are a food person and you're Black, or you know someone, or you have your favorite food truck downtown or whatever, make sure they get in on this.
Yeah.
All right, Camille, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate
Very
it.
welcome. Very welcome.
All right, best of luck on Restaurant Week.
Yeah.
And Omar is here. How you doing, Omar?
I am doing wonderful.
All right. As you're listening to this, Omar is not here.
I am actually in New Orleans at the time we're recording this before my flight. So thinking about the future. But.
Yes, the magic of time travel. But you, this past weekend, you spent several hours downtown Madison with 15,000 other people.
Yes, I wore the wrong shoes.
You didn't have your protest shoes on.
I have very flat and wide feet, so I know this, but I figured, I'm going to be walking a lot the other times. I'm just wearing the normal shoes I wear to go walk around everywhere. That's good for my flat and wide feet. It was like, I had these Asics. They're a little beat up. They're worn in. They should be fine. No. I took off my shoes after, and jeez, oh my goodness.
Yeah. But the reason you were walking so much is that Madison was part of the No Kings protest rally that was a nationwide thing, right?
Yes. So 5051, which we've mentioned on the podcast before, it's this organization that organizes protests throughout the entire country, specifically for mass protests throughout all cities on a singular day. This is the most recent one, No Kings, which was aimed to kind of push back against the Trump administration for its very frequent overreach.
There's authoritarian tendencies.
Very authoritarian tendencies. Don't confuse it with the ICE protest because it's not the same thing, but it is in the theme. But those are completely different protests.
You're talking about the ones in Los Angeles and other spots.
All over, but the No Kings one also happened to happen while those were happening.
Okay.
So they're not the same thing,
Gotcha.
but they are tied, but they're not.
Well,
the whole thing.
I suppose they're specifically protesting against the sort of ramped up efforts to deport everybody, which is a specific thing. And they're like targeting specific areas where ICE is active, right? Whereas this one was just more making a statement.
Just general. All the previous protests, frankly, nothing new.
But it was larger, right?
It was larger.
That's what was kind of new to me, that it was like 5 million people across the country. And 15,000 in Madison, that's a big...
And actually every state participated in a 50-51 protest this time. Usually it's most of them, half of them. But this time it was actually every single state. Some cities had multiple, and they're big prominent cities. Milwaukee had their own.
I know that Wausau had a couple thousand people come out.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow. Good for Wausau.
Yeah. But what was the mood?
Anger, also excitement. People were very excited to be there. It's always a chance to show off your nifty protest signs. My favorite one was witches against fascists. I was like, oh, that's a new stance.
As a constituency.
I mean, my favorite one of all time is wax Ron Johnson's nipples, which I had to go end up learning the whole history behind that. You should look that up yourself. I don't think that's a very podcast-friendly topic, but
that was at a couple of protests ago, wasn't it?
I think that one was in January.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
But they were like clowns at this one?
There,
sort of a circus feel or what?
So it's kind of like a two-part thing.
Okay.
There was something at Library Mall.
Okay.
This was like 10 a.m. to 2-ish. It was just, people gathering. There was like tents and stuff set up. I didn't come for most of that part. I just got there for the actual start of the march at around 1 p.m. So I sat there for that. There was a lot of clowns. I was like, oh my. But they weren't like the fun kind of clown. They were terrifying clowns, most of them. Like, oh.
Okay. When I saw clowns in your reporting, I thought maybe they were just trying to be festive or something.
They were trying to be festive. They're, calling Trump a clown, and then also people are dressing up as clowns.
I see. Okay. All right. I get it. But then there was the march to the Capitol?
Yes. A little under a march from mile from Library Mall to the state capitol. Took a very long time. I did take a break in the middle of the march to get a coffee. It wasn't moving. It was
that's a lot of people to move.
Stand still for a little bit. I think the police were still blocking off areas for people to actually march. So it was a good slowdown. Yeah. I don't remember what that coffee shop was, but right off State Street, just near the Capitol there,
gotcha.
With a nice bakery. Got a nice chai charger and a bottle of water.
Awesome. And then what was the sort of the actual protest portion? There were speakers and stuff?
There were speakers. Nick Ramos, the executive director of the Wisconsin Democracy Campaign, was the main speaker there. He's been at so many other previous events, but this time he was kind of taking the main stage, hyping the people up for the other speakers, and actually speaking on the points of the actual point of the rally, which against Trump.
Yep.
But the cool one was Jack Nichols, John Nichols, came. Who I actually have no idea who that is, but
Madison people know who that. He was he was the editor of the Progressive for a long time. He's been with the Capital Times. He's just like nationally known lefty columnist.
Well, he was there.
Yeah.
Wisconsin native, New York Times best-selling author, which is all I knew before. But he called up Bernie Sanders, which was.
He's got Bernie Sanders on the phone?
He got Bernie Sanders on the phone. Well, they were a little misleading how they did it. John Nichols came up and he said, Bernie Sanders is here, and everyone started cheering. And he's like, let me dial him up. I was like, oh, okay. That was a little misleading.
Yeah, but in there, he got his voice there. And then John just held the phone up to the microphone or what?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Okay, well. And then it kind of broke up around 5-ish?
Around 5-ish, the last 30 minutes is kind of like the gratuitous logistical speakers. Like, hey, what about this movement too? To support them. So everyone starts leaving.
Yeah.
Which is a good time to do it.
And it sounds like it was pretty calm for the most part.
It was pretty calm. I think the Cap Times or News 27? News 21 is Arizona. It's a completely different thing. News 27, they reported, I guess, there was a couple instances of vandalization. Someone spray painted a police memorial.
Yeah. I think there are 3 people arrested for vandalism.
I think so. I guess one shop got vandalized, but they don't know if it's actually related to the protests or not. So,
all right.
Yeah, peaceful.
Peaceful. And is there any sense... any sense that what's next, or that this did any good, or?
Well, I've been seeing on social media people saying hey, I protested. What's next? What happens now? And it seems like there's a lot of first-time people going to protests. They're jumping on it, and they don't understand what they're supposed to do next. Keep protesting. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Call your elected officials. Have them try to put pressure on the government to, actually meet these things. Whether or not that works, historically, it's very uncertain.
Yeah.
Sometimes it pans out, but that's all you got to do. You got to keep protesting, keep talking to your elected officials, talk to your neighbors, talk to anyone you can, and just keep it going. You're supposed to keep the momentum going.
Okay, and but there is an organization behind it. 5051, like, is actually a thing right behind it. So like, ideally, like the momentum may continue.
They'll probably have another one soon.
Yeah.
I would imagine with the Iran thing that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Probably relatively soon there will be another one, but 5051 does typically move pretty fast on these and gets them organized. Actually, impressively very fast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's what I've been kind of impressed with the just that you hear about it one day and then it's like there's 10,000 people downtown the next day.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is pretty impressive.
So if there's another protest, you'll hear about it.
Yep.
Maybe a couple days before. You'll probably hear about it at the same time as us.
Right.
So,
Yep.
we'll be there.
Yeah. And the other thing that you've been working on this week is something with the Latino Academy Workforce Development, right? Which is an organization you've covered quite a bit.
Yes. The Latino Academy a few months ago, I believe it was mid-January, maybe early February. I have to double check the dates on that. But they received a grant from the Lowe's Foundation, the hardware
The
store.
big home goods store.
Yeah, Lowe's. They have a charitable foundation that does charity, especially for workforce development and the construction trades.
Okay.
The Latino Academy was one of the only two in Wisconsin out of the entire country of people that receive money from this grant to, implement a program for construction trades. The Latino Academy used to have a construction trades program, but it has fizzled out. But after frequent demand from its, constituents, the people who are actually using its services, they're able to bring it back. And they had their first graduating cohort last Friday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How many people?
15 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the first cohort of how many?
It's the first cohort of, they're shooting for 2 to 3 a year. They're going for at least 2 years.
Okay. All right.
So there could be 6. There could be 4.
Yep.
Somewhere
but
in
still,
that range.
somewhere between 60 and 100 people are going to get this construction training and ideally like move into construction jobs, which is a area that needs workers.
Absolutely.
Right now, especially if they keep getting deported.
Well, this one was interesting because it's a very wide range of people that were actually there for the program, different age groups. There was actually a whole family who did it together.
Cool.
Mom, wife, husband, and their son.
That's awesome.
All did it together. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Was there talk of ICE, anything like that? Is anybody at the Latino Academy worried about immigration status, that kind of stuff?
They didn't particularly mention it, but
Okay,
it's
that's good.
it's always like a foreground thought for their efforts. They're always there to support people and help them. They've had all these programs for helping people actually progress to get their citizenship, like English-based programs and employment. At least get some type of work visa or green card. So,
All right, Omar, thanks a bunch for going, for spending your Saturday doing that, and for reporting, and for stopping by the podcast.
of course.
All right, have fun in New Orleans. All right, thanks again for listening. That's all we have for you this week. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk again soon. 365 Amplified is produced and edited by me, Rob Chappell, and is a production of 365 Media Foundation, a nonprofit, local, independent media organization in Madison, Wisconsin. Wherever you're listening to this right now, hit the subscribe or follow button to get new episodes every Friday. And between episodes, get your latest news at madison365.org and follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. Wherever you get your news, we'll be there.
This is your before and after story. Southeastern College can help you prepare for a secure and fulfilling career in the growing healthcare field. We offer a wide range of careers to choose from. So whether you want to be a medical assistant, medical billing and coding specialist, nurse, surgical technologist, or another healthcare career, we've got you covered. Become a vital part of a healthcare team and make a real difference. Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sec.edu to get started.